Hello and welcome to NDTV Profit. We are here at the JP Morgan India Investors Summit, and I'm glad to be joined by Mr. Max Neukirchen, the co-head for global payments at JP Morgan. Max, welcome to this conversation. I want to start this chat off with a question around how are people at the India Investors Summit talking about payments?
Yeah, good morning, first of all, and great to be here with you, and fantastic to be here in Mumbai at the JP Morgan Investor Conference. Payments is a very central topic for many of our clients, and it is important how they manage their cash, how they pay their employees, how they pay their suppliers. But payments is also top of mind because there's so much innovation happening in this space right now. New payment rails emerging, new platforms emerging, and it's something that is very much top of mind, where clients try to see how they can benefit from these innovations.
How are you seeing the opportunity here in India? Because obviously there's a lot happening around the world, but specifically in India on the payments front. We've had new technologies, but we've also had a lot of adoption, which has been significantly higher than a lot of other geographies out there. How are you seeing this?
India is a very exciting market for us from two angles. There's the client angle and there's the innovation angle. On the client side, first of all, there's been tremendous growth in India. Our clients that are headquartered in India are looking for growing abroad, looking to grow their businesses and for solutions there. And then you have so many multinational companies who look at the fantastic success here in India and want to expand their footprint here and grow here. So we, as their partner, want to be there and help them from a payment standpoint. And then, to your question, there's also the innovation angle, where we had really transformative innovation here in India. UPI is probably the most pronounced example. I saw that there were almost 15 billion transactions being processed in August alone. So tremendous growth, and it's a whole ecosystem that grew around it, fintech firms that build solutions around it, and that is for us very exciting because the whole world is watching to what they can learn from India here.
How is JP Morgan approaching this piece? Because yes, there's a consumer payments portion, which of course is everybody's area of interest. But specifically coming to, say, for example, industry solutions or helping fintechs, tap into this market better, how are you going about that?
Fintechs are a very important client segment for us from a number of angles. Number one, we want to help them grow their business and manage their liquidity and their payments that they need as part of solutions they are building, not only in India, but also globally. And then India is also the largest remittance market in the world, and we power actually a whole range of fintechs that are looking to move money in and out of India for their customers. And for us, this is very straightforward because we are not a retail bank in India, so there's no competition, and we can really power these firms in a very productive way.
Okay. And what is promising to you among the people that you're working with? I know I don't want any names of anybody, but in terms of what you're seeing as potential, which you can help and sort of evolve.
One innovation that I'm also very excited about is the open network for digital commerce. We recently announced a partnership there that allows many of our clients, in particular small businesses and mid-sized companies, to access the commerce market here in India and become sellers there. We have a combination there of a merchant services offering, a treasury services offering, and a seller app. And all that together makes it very easy for our clients to access that market, and the growth has been very, very promising so far. It's also an interesting example for us how we partner with fintech firms, in this case with ISG, to deliver these solutions. So it's not only that we have to always build this in-house, but we are also very excited and open to partner to deliver solutions here in country.
Okay. One of the challenges that Indian companies have seen is that growth has been massive, but monetization has been a challenge, especially when it comes to payments and specifically peer-to-peer payments. How do you see this as an evolving landscape? What is your advice to people you're working with?
That is actually a very important question for payments globally, and India is not unique there, where the actual movement of money is becoming more and more commoditized.
Yes.
And the fees and the income you can generate from that is definitely a smaller component. What is important are the value-added services that you can offer around payments, be it account solutions, how you manage liquidity, be it credit solutions, because those are very valuable features that allow you then to generate economics as a bundle that move way beyond payments. And that is, I think, what we are seeing also many of the local players here embrace and drive.
Okay. India is also working on expanding its technology availability in other countries. Partnering with countries in Europe, countries around Middle East, where they're trying to get people to use their technology and, of course, do business there however they want to. Is this the right way to go? Because there's also a bit of a government push that comes in from there. Yeah.
I think there's real opportunities for the Indian payments infrastructure to become an export globally from a number of ways. I think, first of all, there's a number of countries looking at India and say, this has been a tremendously successful example of an economy fully digitizing and using payments to now include large parts of the population in the economic ecosystem that before haven't. So all those countries are looking at India and see what can we learn from this and bring this to their own home. Real-time payments themselves have been so far very much a country-by-country development. Each country has looked at their own scheme, developed the regulation, and tried to scale it up. Cross-border real-time payments is the next horizon there, and a lot of countries are looking how to make especially UPI available to people paying into India and out of India. So it's a very exciting growth vector.
I want to ask you the last couple of questions. The first one about this government push, I want to dig a little deeper. So if you were to, as a government policy, try to push technologies that are indigenous to India to other countries, do you need the government to participate, or is this something that the private sector can easily achieve?
I think, first of all, the private sector is already very active driving this. I do think government support is definitely helpful, because you need a regulatory framework to make these cross-border payments work, and support of the government and the experience from scaling UPI here will be very beneficial, and the government support can help there a lot. Okay.
One of the challenges when it comes to sort of expanding the availability of payments, especially in countries like India, where portions of the country are still developing at a pace which is maybe slower than the rest of it. Would you last mile coverage of these technologies? How important is that, and what do you think that maybe centralized investments could be helpful?
Last mile is always a very critical component in payments, because that is very local and typically very resource intensive. So I do think a central push, be it through a budget or a coordinated effort to make these last mile payments work, is critical. And it's often the most expensive part of the value chain. So really making sure that there's focus on driving inclusion that way is critical.
Okay, just to add to this, so there's been this effort to develop a central bank digital currency here in India, and is that the need of the hour?
My personal perspective is that UPI has already been very successful in digitizing payments and making bank accounts more widely available. A digital currency, you always have to ask yourself the question, what is the additional value add? And it's probably harder for me to see at this point where that value add is coming from. It is, of course, a digital alternative to cash, but UPI is already offering this to many consumers all across India.
All right, Max Neukirchen, thank you so much for joining us on this conversation.
Thanks for having me.